Yes, we welcome back to another episode on That Gunners Talk. And, we have a lot of news to cover today, especially after Arsenal win 3-0 at Preston in a great performance where Ethan Waneri was a star player. To get into more of that, Ethan Waneri, another brilliant performance, 3 goals in 2 games for the youngster, only 17 years old. Does he deserve a start? Let me know all your thoughts in comment section. Let me know all your thoughts in comment section down below. We'll also get into Newcastle and what does that game mean on the back of a lot of team news, important team news for a lot of players like Odegaard, Timber, and a lot of news like Ben White. A lot of updates from Mikel Arteta to talk about to get into this episode. But first of all, KP, how are you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. Nice. I didn't get to catch the game yesterday, but obviously I've seen extended highlights and just seeing what Waneri done is just absolutely insane. Obviously, and I'm just happy. It's refreshing. It's nice to see. I'm proud of him. I feel like it was a statement performance. Good performance on the team in general, obviously, albeit against less opposition. And yeah, man, big game coming up very soon, to be fair. So I'm excited for that.
Great performance from Waneri. Just want to touch on that quickly before we even start talking about the previews and the team news. For me, when I did catch the game, Waneri was outstanding. I mean, 17 years old, the way he's able to receive it within the lines, and people that watch my channel and have heard me talk about football know I'm such an advocate of players that can play between the lines, receive the ball, and look forward all the time. I thought Declan Rice last season was a good ball carrier, and I think Arsenal are at its best under Mikel Arteta when we have someone to relieve that pressure. I think any team in world football is better when they have a player who can receive it, is confident enough to relieve pressure on the ball, and that's a risk-taking player. I mean, we have players in the team like that when fit. Sometimes Martin Odegaard will do that, but Bukayo Saka most definitely quality player at doing that. So to know we have another dimension of Waneri at 17 years old to do that and the finish. If we can continue that, then we have a player on our hands. What a wonderful goal! From Waneri. If you didn't see it, cuts inside, slaps it, top bins. But KP, let me know what you think about Waneri and any other star performances you did manage to catch up on and you want to highlight.
Steph, man, he's the truth. That's just it. He's the truth. Like you watch him, and it's the same thing. Like when you watch certain players, and they don't have to just necessarily play for your team. I think if you're a good football spectator, you can watch certain players and just know like just the way they move, their touches, the way their body flows when they dribble, when they pass, like just the things they do, how it looks. It's just he's
Quality, man. Quality.
He's great to watch, man. And I think it's impressive to see how he just looks so confident. Like when he plays with such confidence, such comfortability. Like it's not just he has a certain level of maturity that sometimes he knows when to slow down the game and pass it back. He knows when to, link up, and he still knows when to like he was all over the game. And it was nice that we kind of set up our team yesterday with like a lot of senior players to surround him, that good foundation for him to express himself, and he took.
And that's something I do want to touch on before we even go into anything previously. I think what's been going understated during this time is people have been saying, "Oh, we don't have a deep enough squad. Our squad is not good enough." This and that. I've heard a lot of conversation about our squad recently, but I mean, it's to say this: no Saliba during times this season. Sometimes we had Gabriel come off, no Timber in and out of the side. We have Calafiori, no 2 injuries so far this season. Moreno missed time with a shoulder injury. Odegaard was out. Saka missed time. When you talk about Martinelli missed time, like we talk about so many players in and out of the team. We haven't played a consistent 11, or really the starting 11. Everyone thinks that would start for the season if everyone was fit. To think that we are where we are, losing only 1 game this season, and that was a really contentious game as well. Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, we're coping, so we do have a good squad. I think we have a good squad. And when you see us able to rotate, and play games in the Carabao Cup, and you see Jorginho, we talked about off camera. Jorginho came in absolutely outstanding. The way he was firing balls between the lines. We also talked about Kivior stepping up in a position where people was writing off a player like that. Kivior is back in the squad, playing at a high level and consistently. Like, I mean, against Liverpool, I mean, yes, he's at fault for the goal, but if he doesn't go over there to try to do the honestly understandable thing and try to cover out a young player going up against Mo Salah, I mean, we're talking about another player who came in for us, or one of our best centre backs, and didn't put a foot wrong. So we're talking about the depth in this squad. I think pound for pound, we have a really good squad. It's just like, when can we get our main guys back is really what I'm trying to say. And when can we get this squad fully fit and firing so we're able to see multiple different variations of Arteta, really get him to play the style of football he's ideally want to play.
yeah, man, it's good to see that we can make changes also as we expected. Obviously, we have like a lean squad, but a good squad. Like I think the level between all the players are good. It was nice to see Jesus get on the score sheet as well for yesterday. You could see the players celebrate with him. You could see him as well. His celebrations. Just I always say, attacking players just need one to go in. We all play football. You know how it gets, man. You score that one goal, just relieves you. You relax now. You start playing your game. Stop overthinking. You stop trying to force things in it. I think Jesus needs to play loose. If he can play like that, then I think he's been playing well, to be fair, in his last couple of camps. But now just go, albeit Preston. I feel like coming off the bench now, maybe one chance he gets, maybe he can score again, just continue that run. Then we might start seeing that Jesus where he's floating, dribbling the ball. I think Sterling as well. Just big shout out to him. I think he played well, obviously, bar just the final action sometimes, and he was unlucky to not score that final shot that got played off the line. I feel like it is a bit frustrating sometimes because you want him to just come in and just be elite. But I think like he showed a lot of good moments in the game as well. So shout out! I think a lot of the players we played well as well. Marino looked like looks like he's coming into his own in the team. Timber, it's nice to see that he's playing, and he only played 45, so he came off, and it was nice to see Setford get his debut, which I feel like comfortable, clean sheet as well. And Aiden Heaven get his debut as well, which I feel like he also had some good moments as well. Obviously, Skelly came on in the second half, and also it was nice to see Zinchenko get some minutes.
I mean, it's good to see that Zinchenko's confidence is not rattled, albeit Preston. It's good to still see that we have a player when called upon, that can still step into the squad and show quality when asked. Yeah,
so it's nice for us to to take care of business and obviously book ourselves into the quarterfinals, and obviously we've got Palace, right? I don't know if it's home or away. I've seen mix.
Yeah, Palace at home actually. It's a good draw.
Yeah, so that's I'm gonna see if I can go to that game, obviously, hopefully. But
that's a great one to go to.
It's nice, isn't it? Like obviously with City coming out as well in this competition, Chelsea, obviously it's still good teams, Liverpool, United, Newcastle, but I would now deem us as favourites in terms of just being the best team left in the competition. So
I was gonna ask that. I mean, with the draw as well, Tottenham play United at Spurs as well. I think Liverpool have Southampton. I think Chelsea are in the next round.
Chelsea lost to Newcastle. So Newcastle playing Brentford.
So yeah, I back us, and I think we probably might get potentially Tottenham or Man United, one of the teams. And even if we do get them, or maybe even a Liverpool in the semi-finals, I still back us over 2 legs. Because I think the semi-final is 2 legs and then the final is 1. I still back us over 2 legs to get past any team. And I think this is something that a lot of fans have been talking about, cup competitions and getting silverware. I think it's a big thing for us to get silverware, even if it's just the Carabao Cup. It's just a feeling like, okay, we have a trophy. Let's push on. Let's get the monkey off your back. Let's get settled down. Let's build a winning mentality. I think silverware this season, in any form or fashion, is massive for this team. KP, let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I do agree. Was it the 22-23 season or the 21-22 season that we went to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup? We faced Liverpool, and then we.
Oh yes, I think it was one of those seasons.
Jacob got the red card at Anfield for that challenge, and then we drew 0-0. Good defensive performance, and then I think we lost 2-0 at the Emirates. Jota,
yes.
40 goals. But that was a semi-final. I don't know what year that was. I think was it 20? Maybe it was 21, 22. Because it was a season that we challenged for the title. I don't know about that season.
No, I don't think we challenged for the title. I think that was the top 4 year.
Yeah, so it's interesting because that game goes different. Would have been in the final, in this competition. But I feel like we're a bit more equipped now and a bit more solid in all areas for us to take this competition. And I'm happy that Mikel was taking this competition seriously. Not saying that he didn't before, but obviously sometimes when you make heavy rotations and the players in your squad aren't necessarily all at that same level, the level does drop down, whether it's physically, whether it's just tactically, or just in everything, innit? It was nice that he made changes, but he didn't make changes. Like there was a lot of players that are still first-team players, but there was also obviously a lot of like the rotated squad that are still good players. So I think we can win this competition. I want us to, because it's nice. It's a competition that you play the final early, is it February or something like that? So you can already have a trophy in the bag, have a visit to Wembley, have a winning run. And I think no, you don't go to. Do you go to Wembley? No, you don't go to Wembley for.
No, you don't go to Wembley for the semi-finals. You only go for the final.
Sorry, but you get a chance to go to Wembley, win a trophy, albeit like the lesser of the 4, but it's still a trophy. And it can be a
And we have a
massive.
good record at Wembley over history. So
There you
we,
go. And if you win that trophy now in February, that can be like a nice booster for you to now kickstart your title running, which we expect Arsenal to kind of get into good gears after New Year's, and also the Champions League that we expect to go to the last stages. We already had the trophy and experience of semi-final, final, playing the game, and it's nice as well to face top 4 position United, Spurs, Liverpool, Newcastle. Maybe like it's gonna be hard for us to win this trophy. It's not going to be like a cake run from this point on. So bring it on, man.
Bring it on. Bring it on 1000%. But also, like I said, bring it on. Bring on Newcastle at the weekend. That is a game that is going to be. It has massive implications. I mean, City 5 points ahead, Liverpool 4 points ahead. No, I mean, drop points again is not disastrous, but then you're starting to look at like, okay, like clawing back a 6 + 9 point lead or clawing back like an 8 point lead at this kind of stage is kind of like even with the games that we've had, there's still a lot of games and reverse fixtures that we still have to play. So KP, give me your thoughts. Newcastle away. We know what happened last season with that controversial ball going off and pushing you back on Gabriel. Is a ground that over a couple of years we've had good wins in the 2-0. I remember that we went up there 1-2-0 in our title run. And I remember also too, we went up there in the top 4 run, we also lost. And I also remember games we lost up there when we shouldn't. So I mean, it's a tricky fixture. Talk to me about your feelings going into this game before we even touch on getting into the 11.
I think I haven't forgotten about that last season. I think from just the VAR decision when the
Bruno Guimaraes
to the pushing the back on Gabriel to Bruno Guimaraes twice going on players to just in general, and obviously at that point in the season as well. I'm pretty sure Jesus was injured. I'm pretty sure Odegaard didn't play in that game as well. Like, you're not making excuses. I'm saying like it was a day that I just in general I have a despise for Newcastle, and I also now feel like last season, like I look at certain games that we lost points as we need our get back. Obviously, we dropped points against Bournemouth, something we did do last season, but like the teams that we lost against, I've been looking at us and saying, no, we need to get our get back this season at those grounds. So this is one of those grounds, and I'm happy that we're kind of going into this game with a potentially quite fit squad, or at least potentially fit squad, like not fully fit, but maybe like a lot of players in contention, because it's nice to have potentially a very strong squad and no real concerns going into this game in terms of who's playing where to attack this game. I think I always say Arsenal do well in pressure situations. Now this new version of Arsenal, I feel like when our backs are against the wall, when we need to get the points or we need to bring out a performance, this team normally does.
Well, hopefully, to be honest, we get the points this weekend before we touch on the 11. You want to pull the 11 up? And because I think what we hear Mikel Arteta talking about players coming back. Gabriel's injury update, he said it was not serious. He said that Gabriel could potentially be fit for the weekend. Odegaard has been running on grass allegedly for over like a week and a half. No, been
working. It was reported today that he may be in contention to come before that game from a few sources that are good. So if that's coming out now, obviously maybe it might not be true. You see, Mikel has a press conference tomorrow, so I'm pretty sure he will confirm those details. And I'll pay the close attention to that.
Timber played 45 minutes. He's
looking at minutes. He's fresh. We need to see the news on Ben White. Obviously, he didn't play in that game. Hopefully, it's just like a load management thing where.
I think those are the two players that that were load managing him and Timber and Ben White, because I mean they're coming in when asked. They're coming in obviously when you need them, but you still want to manage them because Ben White all last season battled a knee injury that underwent a lot of secrecy. He allegedly was supposed to have surgery on it and didn't have surgery or whatever was being reported. Timber, obviously, his Arsenal career has been stop-start with a lot of injuries, so you just want to take your time with players that are crucial to obviously in squad depth in general.
Especially where Tomiyasu is injured and injury prone, and obviously Kieran Tierney hasn't recovered from his injuries. So apparently he's close, but I don't know if he would get any feature time in our team, but we never know if needs must. I wouldn't mind Kieran Tierney playing personally.
I'll roll back the years. I remember Tierney years.
But like obviously Calafiori obviously he's not going to be back until after the international break potentially. So in this game ideally we need Ben White. Hopefully he's not. But yeah, like we can get to the lineup. I think it's I'm confident for this game, but I need a win. Obviously, it's 12. It's well in the UK. It's a 12:30 kickoff. Obviously, I know it will be quite early.
Early kickoff, yeah.
Yeah. Are you going? Are you going to the bar to watch it? Or are you watching it at home?
I'm thinking if I should go to the bar. No, I can't go to the bar this weekend. This
Very
weekend,
early.
Yo, actually, listen. Breaking news. I'm actually starting my coaching journey from this weekend. Honestly, starting to coach some youths. So I'm turning on vet. Gonna start some coaching.
Mikel Arteta, you
Gonna start some coaching. Gonna start talking to. Gonna start just building up a profile. So yeah, I'm starting that this weekend. So I actually will miss the bar this weekend, but hopefully I will be back at the bar for Chelsea though. Definitely.
Nah, I love to hear that, bro. Hopefully this journey goes well for you. You already know.
Respect, bro. Respect. Thank you so much.
But cool. Let's get into the lineup of this game, or what we think the lineup will be. So obviously in goal, we don't need to really have much discussion.
No need to stick up David Raya, obviously.
Raya,
of course.
Player. I just wanted to see. Okay, so I'm gonna assume Ben White is gonna be fit for this game.
Yes.
Just to because I think we'll see. Obviously, we'll know for sure Mikel's press conference, but I'm just gonna assume that he was rested because he wasn't needed, and be back in training and available for this game, because he did play an excellent game against Liverpool and right centre back, which it was lovely to see. Can't lie to you. It was refreshing to see Ben White back in that position as well, and just know that if we do need coverage there to rest Saliba in the game, to shift back Ben White one position and put Timber there, and obviously Calafiori's back to play left back, and we don't really lose too much. You know what I mean, in terms of what Saliba is.
Yeah. So you go Ben White right? You go Ben White right back?
Yeah, if he's fit, Ben White should go right back. What do you think?
I think he will be fit. I think Ben White will be fit, so I go Ben White right back, and then I obviously have the two centre back pairing. Yeah, the two centre backs, because I'm assuming that Gabriel is also fit based on the news and the reports we've been hearing. Obviously, in football matches, sometimes it's getting knocked, and you will come out just in case you're not risking anything. But I think Gabriel will be fit, and left back you have to go Timber if he's also fit, because he played against Preston, played 45 minutes, took him off just to rest him. I think there's no way around it. I think that's our would you say that's our best back four?
I think it's one of our best back fours. I do like the back four of Timber right back and Calafiori left back.
I do like that. I do like that a lot. I just like that left-footed profile over there.
Yeah, I think I do like that as well. I would have also been interesting to see the back four of Tomiyasu right back and Timber left back as well.
That'd be interesting.
Yes, but I think if everyone's fit, this should be the case. If just interesting question though, if Gabriel isn't fit, how would you shape this up?
If Gabriel isn't fit, I'd obviously go. I'd probably play Saliba left centre back. I'd go I'd go Ben White right back.
Does Kivio come in for you? Left centre back.
Yeah, I'd go. Yeah.
Just watched him play against Preston. Quite a quality performance.
I disrespected. I was actually the biggest advocate.
That's what I can't believe. That's what I read. Jakob, man. Jakob, I got your back.
I'd definitely go Kivio. I think, to be honest.
What was you gonna say though? Just out of interest.
I was actually gonna have a shout for potentially Lewis Skelly. I was gonna believe in the Lewis Skelly hype, because like I said, that inverted profile, or I was obviously gonna revert back to type and say it's most likely gonna be Partey. If Partey are right back based on that great performance against Liverpool, I wouldn't not mind Thomas Partey going right back again. I was a big advocate not to see that, and I forgot we do that option. Yeah, but I wouldn't mind Thomas Partey goes right back, push comes to shove. But if Gabriel isn't fit to start, but I think Gabriel will be fit to start. But if not, and you wanna put Partey in the midfield, I'd go Kivior. I think Kivior came in, he did a good job, man. He hasn't really put a foot wrong when he's came in, to be honest. I mean, he gave up the goal against Liverpool, but he's going to help Lewis Skelly against Mo Salah. Like, it can't be too hard on him. I understand why he did it. I understand. I get it. So I'm not going to be overly critical about that. But yeah, I don't think Kivior put a foot wrong other than that in the Liverpool game. And I think he played great against Preston. I mean, albeit Preston, but he had a great performance.
Yeah, I think.
So yeah,
I think
for the midfield. No, what would you do for the midfield?
I was just say that any iteration of the defense, really, if, let's say Gabriel wasn't available, or even if Gabriel and Ben White wasn't available, for example. Obviously, if Gabriel and Ben White wasn't available, then I think it would be Timber right back, Kivio left centre back, and then Lewis Skelly left back, just out of being forced, because I think Mikel would want to go with the more physical option than go Zinchenko. But
Yeah,
you never
I don't think he's scared to play Muzzle Skelly. He's brought him in tough moments. He brought him in City, brought him in against Tottenham, brought him in against in Champions League multiple times. He brought him in.
So I don't think he wouldn't not play him. So, and I would see that if Gabriel wasn't fit,
I don't think
I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Skelly's not a bad show.
But I don't mind any of the options really. I think they would all provide something. Even Zinchenko, I can't lie. As much as people might look at it and think, it's
a bit of a liability.
I think
if push came to shove, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Newcastle are a team that like to. They're gonna try and, especially at their home ground where their fans are gonna demand it. They're gonna try and press high, which I think Arsenal are gonna try and bait them into a press. Unless they're gonna try and respect us, I don't see them doing that at home. So I feel like they're gonna try and press high, be physical, bring up their intensity. I think Arsenal are gonna try and play through them, and I wouldn't mind having a ball player like Zinchenko there, despite the risks that he takes sometimes, just being able to play through the lines and open us a space. But yeah, midfield. Okay, cool. So given this, in the base of midfield, who would you play?
No, has to be Thomas Partey.
Okay, so question though. If Martin Odegaard is 100% fit and in the squad, does he start for you? If he's 100% fit, 100% fit.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if Martin Odegaard starts for you, who comes out of this midfield?
Mikel Merino.
So even though Mikel Merino is in form, he's got a goal member against Liverpool, which was obviously quite.
Yeah,
and I feel like
just because I say this, I'm not gonna just go off the hill and say, okay, yes, we know how important that left-sided eight profile is to us, and what that did for us in an attacking sense. And even though Moreno is a quality player, and I thought he played quality against Preston as well in terms of working with Martinelli up and down that channel, and the same thing against Liverpool. I think that midfield we made that run with at the back end of the season, where Partey came into the scene, even when Jorginho was at the base of that midfield, and you had Declan Rice, Odegaard. We were unstoppable. I was a great midfield. So that midfield, if it plays, I'd expect them to do a good job.
It's near enough. This is still if Odegaard to be the right eight, and then I expect the front three to be what the front three will be. This is near enough our strongest team. Like you could argue between Calafiori, Ben White. I agree. But I agree. Obviously, I asked that question just to see what your answer would be, which will be my answer as well. But given that, even if Odegaard doesn't make the squad or he is into contention, I don't think he's 100% fit or he's going to be ready to. I'm not saying he can't be ready, but I'm saying if we just going to put him straight in from a back off, he's been off almost 2.5 months now, which is quite a long time.
Actually, when you study it, because. He was long.
And he hasn't played for Arsenal since the Brighton game, which was in August, which is a long time ago now. Which considering that this game is going to be in November, so do we rush him back? Do we just put him into the team? If he's 100% fit, 100%, but if he's not, I would probably want to err on the side of caution and just put him on the bench, bring him on. Just because I feel like. It's a long season. We still have 2 more top away games before the international break in Inter and Chelsea that we do want to still pick up points in, and we don't want to have another flare up. But the one thing I would hate is Odegaard to play, and then we see, after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he goes down. You know what happens sometimes when players come up with injury? That will break my heart. And then you see the Arsenal fan base start tearing up Mikel. He just came back. Why are you forcing him? You played Saka on the week. So. For this game, unless he's 100% fit, I'll err on the side of caution, and I'll personally have him on the bench. I don't know about you. I don't know if you will have him. And in that case, I would be starting the 3 men midfield of Partey, Rice, and Merino.
Is that Partey, Rice, and Merino?
Yeah. The reason why I would play this team, the only reason why I don't think they're going to play, because Trossard didn't come on again. Trossard was on the bench, right?
Yes.
He didn't
Yes.
come on. He didn't come on.
That's interesting.
That doesn't mean I think Mikel's gonna go. You didn't come on, so you're gonna play. But I'm saying the reason why I want to go with this 3-man men midfield is because obviously I've seen enough technical security in Marino to know even if people bring the decisive passing and the pocket play in terms of like a natural interior. I think he's a very like tidy player, and ball retention is still going to be amazing. He's Spanish. He knows how to turn out on the ball. He knows how to receive in the pockets and keep the ball. So I think, and also he brings the physicality. And I think against Newcastle, we're going to try. I'm just thinking about last year and what they tried to do to us. That little boy with his nasty fouls and stuff. Now I want to come with. Like, if I'm looking at the team right now, if I was to insert Marino, for example, I don't know if you would agree personally. Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, tall player.
Yeah, that's a tall squad. Barring against Yuri and Timber,
and then we know who's going to be on number 9, isn't it? So and it's like now, and obviously we already know Timber is not even actually short. Funny enough, I saw his height. He's just short compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
so
he's strong. Either way, if he's strong still. So
strong and he's fast as well. And you know what I mean? And he's on the ball, he's amazing. So it's like I'm looking at this and it's like we have options to go long. We have a lot of players that can win the ball. We have a lot of defensive-minded players that if we need to sit in that shape when is that moment of the game, we have a lot of players. We also have what's it called? A lot of ball carriers. They're all good players at the end of the day, and it kind of. I wouldn't necessarily. I see this as a formation that we would play in tough away games when we need to play like those hard midfields where Mikel might want to dominate in terms of strength and duels. You already know he loves his duels, and people might see it as negative, but I see it as interesting because it might also give a bit more license for our attackers to kind of stay a bit more higher than to just drop deeper because they have a bit more defensive players behind them, which might prove to play on the counter and play a bit more transition, which might open up more space 1v1s for the deadly players like that we have in our team. But what would you think Mikel would do in this game? Because
it's an interesting one because I didn't even get to mention too much on what you were talking about. Meaning, if Odegaard was to come back from the start, I mean, if Odegaard didn't, it's a tricky one when I said that originally because with Timber as well. When Timber was ready to come back, I mean, Timber came back from an ACL injury, but when Timber was ready to come back, Timber started. When Timber was ready, he played. When Ben White was ready, he played. So when Mikel doesn't bring back players before they're ready. So if they're saying Odegaard is in contention, there's a high possibility he's probably on the bench. I probably lean that way. But I would not be ultimately surprised if I would see Odegaard from the beginning, because like you said, secretly he's been. I remember before the international break, he was running on a treadmill, which was big for his ankle injury, and then coming back to being on grass, and he's actually been on grass a week and a half already. And like we did talk about off camera, you're someone that's been through injuries, so you could testify to this as well. You're talking about getting that first contact in and just to see how you feel. So he's probably been training. If he's in training, maybe get him in training, see how he feels, see how the ankle feels working, going up against contact. And if he looks physically ready for it, I mean, he might make the bench, but don't be surprised if he starts. But what I ultimately think will happen is Mikel Moreno will probably start, which I would not mind. I think if he does start, I think Declan Rice will more play like the right side. Mikel Moreno will start leaning in more to his position. I think he will start to take over. I mean, depending on what you do with Thomas Partey in the future, I think Declan Rice ultimately long term will drop to the base of that midfield. Mikel Moreno will slot over to the left side more permanently, and maybe you might see Martin, or not maybe, definitely Martin Odegaard will be on the right side at 8. But yeah, I think that's the midfield we'd probably like to see. I don't mind that midfield. I thought that's one of our strongest midfields as well. And like you said, I think this is probably going to be a really strong team, regardless, especially when we're talking about who we have in the front three, honestly.
Yeah, and it's just to finish your point. I do. Yeah. When I think about it, I think about players like Saka, Saliba. Like if they're fit and they're ready, you're not gonna. More than likely, like if they're ready to make the squad, they should be ready to start. Like I mean, they shouldn't be coming to make the bench, like because they're so impactful, especially our captain as well. I'm just erring on the side of caution just because of obviously I think he's so important and the fact that we kind of needed him a lot during this period of time, not in the kind of we have and we've missed his presence. I don't want a nasty Bruno Gomares slide tackle.
Yeah, that's
Odegaard out the game.
That's
So
the
now
element you can't hope for.
you know what I'm saying, reinvigorate the injury, or if worse, injure it fully, and that's on the game. It's just I'm just on err on the side of caution, not because I don't think I would want to play Odegaard, just that I want to make sure Odegaard is here for the rest of the season because we need him.
I agree.
But yeah, so the front three, I'm pretty sure it picks itself, right?
Yeah, it has to, because Bukayo Saka, it's outrageous. I'm not gonna lie, bro. We talked about this at the back in the last season when he wasn't our player of the year and he wasn't even nominated for PFA player of the year, and he wasn't even in the team of the season with the season the brother had. But listen, brother, when I tell you guys, definitely top 5 wingers in the world, like undoubtedly top 5 wingers. Bro, the consistency, the performance, the quality of performance, and against the big sides in the big games, people are saying, "Oh, he doesn't step up in the big games." You're lying to yourself. Every single game he's played, barring Atalanta and the game where they took away his assists, where he would have made it 6 for 6, he's had a goal contribution. So literally, we could say one game he's not had a goal contribution all season. One game. I mean, technically 2, but I mean they took away the Leicester one, so
No,
I gave him a little bit of shine from the corner.
Preston game yesterday.
Oh,
but I'm just being silly. I'm being petty.
That there, man. You're studying that, bro. Studying Carabao Cup. Nah,
but yeah, like Saka's been from all world, man. I think that because he hadn't played in the previous 2 games. Obviously, you all know we're missing Saka's presence, but it was like it's a big game against big players. Robertson, obviously, albeit he's on the older side now, still one of the Premier League great, one of the best left backs you've seen. And Liverpool had a great team, but he just had an aura around him, and the way every game now, I think Saka's becoming that, like, fam, I'm that guy, and he knows he's that guy. But he has that, like, the needed arrogance that you have in your aura and how you carry yourself and you play, that now draws just one fear to your opponent, like, where, like, there's a respect, but there's also a fear, because it's like, raw, like you see it, like, whenever Saka's 1v1 with anyone, it's done. That's like, he actually has to get double teamed now, because he's either gonna
we see
too strong, or he's better to use it in terms of like short bursts or acceleration, ball retention skills. Will do you.
You leave him one-on-one, you're signing a death wish.
His 1-2s and link ups, how he just kind of knows when to give it off.
Understanding of the game.
So I understand now why teams actually double team him. I just want to now us to utilize that double team, to know whoever's a spare man now to utilize that space. But I think it's a big game, and obviously, hopefully, Martinelli, Havertz have good performances as well, like in terms of being clinical. Martinelli as well, obviously, last couple of games hasn't been so clinical. I think it was quite lively against Preston in terms of just was on take on his man every time he got the ball, which I love, obviously, because Martinelli
actually there was a period in that time where he did actually go down with an injury, honestly. So it was a bit of a scare also in that game with Martinelli. So it's good to see that he didn't come off injured or anything. So he's good. He's good.
It will be a good game, man. With this team as well, I think we have a lot of good ball playing. Obviously, Ben White, Timber in the back, got Partey, who's in rolling form, but Declan Rice obviously there to be higher now to bounce on Newcastle's press and win the ball and clean up, and Marino as well, I think he's growing into the team. I'm happy he's opened his account, especially with a trademark. I think I don't know if we discussed it, but how many headers he was going to score, because he's definitely a threat. Like, we definitely a target that we were using against Liverpool. Especially, he had that one chance before that he kind of swung his body and his shoulder went down.
Credit to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, that game was
those balls that he was whipping in pause was absolutely insane. Still, like, absolutely. So
the service was
so it's just nice now to have our guys back that can give us because I think we'll win the game, man. And obviously, I guess we can transition to our predictions.
Right? Let's go.
We're the best. I did predict.
I think we're the best YouTubers on the platform right now with the predictions. I don't think anyone's more accurate than us. Like on average.
I predicted 3-0 as well for that Preston game. Funny enough.
Like on average, bro. Let's be real. The rate that we predict the score lines and the thing is kind of getting to a point where people should just like and subscribe. I think people should just always like and subscribe. But before we get into predictions, the best Arsenal predictors on YouTube, we can't predict it. better outs. I'm going with if that team starts 3-0 Arsenal. That team starts 3-0 Arsenal.
Wants to say 3-0, man.
Guys.
I always err on the side of goals. I feel like Arsenal, like if they can start a game well and get a goal early, I think it opens up the way we play our game. People always think when we drop defensively, I think it just opens up the way we can control the game and less pressure to try and force a goal. But since you've gone 3-0,
pressure's on Newcastle too, you know. Pressure's on Newcastle. They haven't started the season well. Eddie Howe's
I think the pressure is on Eddie Howe for sure. I'm not obviously, yeah. They're gonna be. I'm just happy he's at 12:30. The fans don't have enough time to get drunk and get lit for the game and wake up early. I'm not saying that the atmosphere is not good. Newcastle they support that team, but I just think it's a different kind of Arsenal. And there's gonna be. I'm telling you, Mikel's gonna remember what happened last season. The players are gonna remember what happened last season in this ground and what outside of just the bump of, because obviously the goal isn't. If you're gonna do what you got to do, if the ball's out of play as a player, if the referee doesn't blow it, it's your choice. You're not gonna stop the play. You know what I'm saying? But all the nasty stuff that they were doing, the challenges and the dirty stuff, say no more.
What's the prediction?
Like I said, 2-0.
2-0.
Solid 2-0 victory, and yeah, man, bring the 3 points home and take over to Milan, man, which will be a very interesting. But yeah,
we'll touch on Milan and we'll also touch on Chelsea coming up in further videos. So if you want to hear more of that and you want to hear more about Arsenal, you want to hear more about our squad in general, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're joining from Gunner Street, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Me and KP hits KP subscribe button. We're all both on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Show us both some love. We have our weekly and daily Arsenal content, so check it out both of our channels. Anything else you want to plug, KP? Anything else you want to finish off saying?
Hey man, everyone, peace and love. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. Hope we also get that dub.
And we will get that dub, no doubt about it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, like I said. I'll catch you guys next. Thanks.